Hello and welcome to this jazz guitar lesson. I'm Chris Whiteman and thanks so much for joining me. Today we're going to look at simplifying the approach for improvisation over a 2-5-1, and we're going to be utilizing the major blues scale to do that. So in jazz education, there's a big emphasis on playing the changes. So each chord we would treat differently with a different mode or a different scale. And that's a very valuable skill set to have. But there's also value in being able to simplify things and target a tonal center that encompasses a series of chords, such as the situation in a 2-5-1. So in a 2-5-1, your one chord is your tonal center. And a very effective way to do this is by using a blues-based approach. Blues being a foundational element of jazz, we can use it in a variety of harmonic situations. We're gonna use it in the 2-5-1 today in this lesson. So some foundational information. The major blues scale is derived from the major pentatonic scale. So we're going to start with the C major pentatonic scale. It's a 5-note scale, and we have the root. I'm going to play C. D is going to be your second. E is your third. We're going to skip the fourth. We're going to play the fifth, which is G, and then A is your sixth. And if I go into the second octave, C is my root, D is my second, E is my third. I'm going to shift my fingering here to the index finger. It's going to be G, which is my fifth, A is my sixth, C is my root, D is my second, and E is my third. Now, if you get it right, it should sound like this classic song. Right, so My Girl is basically the C major pentatonic. All right, so that's your 5-note major pentatonic. The major blues scale is a 6-note scale, so it has all of the notes of the major pentatonic with the addition of the flat third. So we have the root, we have the second, here's the new pitch, E flat, so flat third, into E. So we get a nice chromaticism between the second moving into the third, right? So root, second, flat third, third, fifth, sixth, and then the second octave. Root, second, flat third, third, fifth, sixth, root, second, flat third, third. So that's the scale that we're going to be using today to play over the 2-5-1. With the addition of that flat third to make it the major blues scale, we're really adding a note that creates some nice tension, a very bluesy characteristic. And the reason is, if I have a C chord with a major third, either a C major, in the case of a 2-5-1, even a C7 has a major third, or a C6 has a major third. If I play the C major blues scale, I'm going to get a rub against that flat third and the major third in the chord. And again, that has a very bluesy characteristic to it. Now, anytime I'm learning a scale, I like to practice it up and down. And that's going to help get the sound in my head. It's going to help build the visual imagery so that I see the pattern of the scale. And it's also going to start to develop the muscle memory that I'm going to need to move quickly. So I look at practicing scales at this stage as a prerequisite to making music. We're building the foundation. And again, if we're thinking about jazz improv as a language, and I want to speak a language, I'm not going to recite the alphabet of the language. I want words and phrases, sentences. We need to develop a musical vocabulary. And that's what we're going to do now. I'm going to share some examples of phrases to get you started with this scale. All right, I hope this information was useful. If you like this style, I would really encourage you to listen to Kenny Burrell, Grant Green, Charlie Christian, George Benson, Wes Montgomery. All of those guys have great examples of utilizing blues vocabulary in a jazz context. So thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time.